one.
Good evening and welcome to the Templeton Board of Health meeting. It is 7 o'clock on February 26th. And we're going to start with the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
First on the agenda is to review the meetings of January 22nd. Any questions?
They looked good to me.
They look good to me.
All right, does somebody want to make
I'll
a
make the
motion?
motion to accept the minute.
Laura,
I'll second it.
thank you. All in favor.
Yeah.
And Chairman's report, I can't think of anything that I have to report. Nothing, any members reports?
I don't have.
So Earl was asking me to look into a couple of more abandoned houses, just so that you're aware. Bridge Street has several issues on it that we're working on, along with a lot of others. But there are 2 abandoned houses on Bridge Street, so as soon as I get done the 3 that I'm working on, which are 23 Shore, 28 Elbert, and 51 Turner Street, which is in Otter River, we'll move on to some other newer ones.
Okay. Now that you can pay your light bill online, I never drive up that road anymore. So I know which houses you're talking about, but I will purposely go up there and look at them. So. All right, an animal control barn inspector discussion.
So it has kind of come to my attention, not kind of, it's come to my attention that there's questions about how animal control and the barn inspectors is currently working. So I started looking into it. It used to be, it hasn't been for a long time, but I was looking at our bylaws and it appears that the Board of Health used to nominate people for the position. And I do recall doing that. Since, and I don't even know when, but it was taken out of our hands and it became an intermunicipal agreement with Winchendon.
Okay.
And I'm looking, I do have a copy, I put a copy of that agreement in your packet. And Winchendon hires the animal control officers and the barn inspectors. And they usually let us know who it is. And then we send in, I've been doing, and this is probably a mistake on my part, I don't know yet. I would verify the information on the form, notarize it for the person assigned by Winchendon and accepted by our police department. And I would send the forms into the Department of Agriculture. So now I think we need to look at whether or not we still have to, from looking into it, we still have to nominate them even though they're assigned by Winchendon. So either the select board or the Board of Health needs to nominate them in order for it to go, even though they're already hired, we still have to do our part. And I've been doing that, but as far as I know, nobody voted on it like last year or the year before. It was just,
I know at one time,
Yes, I remember doing something about it, but it was a while ago.
barn inspector with the agriculture committee here in town was taking care of that in conjunction with us. Am I wrong on that?
no, you're not wrong. I'm
Because it was
trying
Nat,
to,
and I'm trying to remember the other woman's name, an older woman.
I remember them coming in.
Yeah, she lived
or
on
something.
Royston
Yeah.
Road.
Mhm.
Clower, Joanne Clower.
Yes, yes.
So she was the barn inspector for quite some time, but hasn't been for quite some
Hasn't been
time.
for a while, right? or
Right.
It hasn't been brought up, so.
Right. So for 2024, because that's when they renew.
Mhm.
I have the names of the three people that were hired by Winchendon to do this and approved by the contract, the intermunicipal agreement, I won't call it contract.
Okay, yep.
I need to know who's supposed to be appointing them. Whether it's because of the contract, the select board, or if it's still the Board of Health.
Okay.
Um, So the paperwork that I put in there, you guys can take a look at. The first paragraph, if you look at the agreement, says the employees of the town of Winchendon shall hold the appointment of animal control officer and or animal inspector from the effective date of this contract from July 1st, 2023 through June 30th, 2026, and shall fulfill the duties of the animal control officer and or animal health inspector. This function of animal health inspector is outside of the contract and could be added for an additional sum of money,
Mhm.
1,800. So I need clarification on it. I do believe it was the Board of Health that was nominating them previously, and it may be in our best interest since we're coming up on March and April. I don't see a reason, even if I find out the select board still needs to nominate them. I don't see any reason why we can't nominate them and move it forward to the select board.
So do you want us to nominate them today?
I don't think we need to wait. I mean, it's not
Yeah.
gonna change who they are unless for some reason we have an issue with that particular person. And they have two new ones. Susan Kowaleski is no longer working for them. She retired. Cassandra Pumpkins is still one of them. They added Sarah Cadden and Kristen Salerno.
What are the qualifications for barn inspector? Is there,
There's really not that much. The Department of Agriculture through the Animal Division has a course. They usually have 3 different ones that you can go to during the year. There's really you gotta be able to handle animals, not be afraid. Probably take care of your own health by getting shots. if
Yeah.
You need to. But other than that, it's not, you don't have to have a degree or anything else.
now are all these people residents of Winchendon or Templeton?
Apple. Winchendon and Westminster.
So then they would be performing all of the barn inspections that,
Barn inspections
Yeah.
and quarantines, running the what was formerly a HISMA, the building over
Yeah.
that's being used as a kennel now and housing animal control and the barn inspectors.
yeah, that's all kind of different or new. We
Yeah.
haven't done it in a while, so.
Yep.
Well, I don't have a problem with nominating them if that would push the process forward.
I just don't want to be late with the state,
Right.
that's
Yeah.
all.
So,
So what we can do is, if-
as the Board of Selectmen representative who is here. are you-
No.
Oh, you're not on the Board of Selectmen?
Oh, no,
Why
no,
did I
no,
think you were?
no, no,
Okay,
no,
sorry.
no.
Okay,
I'm on EDIC, but I'm here as a farmer.
okay, all right. I'm like,
Because-
I recognize you from being somewhere. Okay.
Yeah, I'm here as a farmer,
Okay.
if I may speak.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Please.
and somebody did come out. It was rather interesting that I had not had a barn inspection done in years and years. And they came out, they called my husband within a day or two after some other political things happened in town that was rather, the timing is questionable. I'll just leave it at that. The timing was questionable. She came out to do the barn inspection and her credentials were out of date.
Yeah, I was about to, I don't mean to interrupt you like that, but I was about to question that too, the nominations to push something forward. I don't, just for the sake of pushing it forward, I'm not really in favor of that. If being late's being late, that's fine, but
Are there?
I guess this is the first I've ever heard of it, for starters, and second is these people like this, like just, what's your name? by the way?
Liz.
Liz just said, you know, somebody came out with expired credentials under their barn, under their property, which is. I mean, that's just, with 1 day's notices to just to come look at.
She tried to give us, a few days' notice. It's just the timing of other political things
Okay,
that were
yeah,
going
I
on in
understand.
town was a little questionable.
Yeah.
Who the inspector was? I can't remember. Okay. But her credentials were expired because I asked to see them.
I was gonna
Yeah.
say, you asked to see them.
I
Oh, there- I
asked to
mean,
see
there's
the
a-
credentials.
Yeah.
And, I said, hey, we haven't had a barn inspection in years.
Yeah, that's not good.
And, and she. There were just a lot of, I'll just leave it, lots of questions.
Okay.
Lots
And
of
that's,
questions.
that's what I have a lot of questions.
And so, and the one other time that a barn inspection had been done, it was very different than what she wanted to do. So the whole thing just
Reeked.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Good to know.
But I'm not accusing anybody.
No, just no.
No.
We're not taking it that way either. Can I ask what they wanted to inspect? I'm curious.
Well, first of all, we technically don't have a barn. We have a run-in.
Yeah.
Okay, so, and she said that she wanted to look around and walk around the property, and she wanted to look at the animals. I asked her if she had any experience with alpacas. She didn't. And I'm like, okay, so what are you gonna do?
Yeah, that's back to the qualifications. That's what I was getting at. I mean, if you had a list of things, the animals have fresh water, grain
And
available.
that's
Things
exactly
like,
what
there
it
was a list
revolves
where these
around.
people can say, okay,
Right.
as opposed to, I'm just gonna wander around your property and look at your alpacas, which I have no idea.
It is supposed to be looking for animal health. Are they in decent condition? Do they
Are they
have
vet
water? Do they, no.
Do they
And
have
that,
So,
that's not their part
No.
of the job. It's water, shelter, feed, general health, and a count. And the count goes back to, if we ever had,
More than the limits.
no,
Oh.
it's all about if things start dying.
Oh,
Like chemical warfare kind of thing, or biological warfare. The first thing that's supposedly gonna be affected is farm animals. I don't know if that's true or not, but that's where the counting of the animals comes in, and then if they see from year to year, a steep decline or an issue comes up, they can go back and look and say, well, they had 40 alpacas and now they have 2.
okay.
So what got them? So that's more what that's about. No, they are not vets. They're not expected to be vets.
well, somebody walked into a barn of sheep and saw a dog that was out there, not knowing that it's a grandparent or something like that, that never comes in the house. That's a barn dog. They're gonna say, this dog's out in the elements, this dog's this, and this dog's being mistreated.
And that's
They
not
have no
true.
idea what they're talking about, is my point of.
And that's what the classes are that they hold annually that goes over all, because I was a barn inspector. And you're not trying to be a vet.
Okay,
And as they should have shelter, but not all animals have a barn. They have a 3-sided shed that has hay in it, that has this, that has that. But it's not all the same,
Right,
so.
so I was just curious about their qualifications as to,
Those classes, I mean. You go on the website, there's plenty of information, but
And I asked if she'd been, appointed by the health department, like this. And she said, no,
no, right.
and I went, it's a bylaw that says you're supposed to be.
Okay.
And so, you know, and I said, look, I'm not objecting to you coming on the property and doing whatever your job is, but I want you properly credentialed and properly appointed and,
Makes sense.
you know,
Yeah.
so, you know, when you have all that stuff, feel free to come in.
So what's really weird is even though they didn't come before the Board of Health to be nominated, their paperwork still went in, and this is my mistake,
Mhm.
just telling you right now. Their paperwork still went to the Department of Agriculture last year. And I know that they all had up to date, depending on who it was. If they were assigned, they had up to date credentials and should have had them on them. Because I take them over to the town clerk to make the cards.
Yeah.
So,
Her credentials were always due out.
yeah, that's not, I don't know who it was. But I know Cassandra Thompson and Susan Kowaleski had their credentials, so I don't know who was at your house. So we need to do some more work on it, figure it out.
How did they get the list? Because, you know,
They're supposed to build on it. There was a list from years ago that we've constantly added to, and one would have thought that your alpacas would have been on there.
oh, well, yeah, we've had them over 30 years.
Right.
And, you know, and the last barn inspection was, I don't know, years ago, maybe, and that was for the chickens.
Yeah. So the list,
Suspect.
as you can imagine, the list is ever changing. It's a living document. It's not in my control so much anymore. But I did start an Excel spreadsheet for them years ago. And it did have information on there, and we add to it. I'll give them information when I know about people with new animals. I go out to a septic inspection and I have 40 goats staring at me. It's kind of obvious that. And I'm not lying, I felt like somebody was staring at me. I was on Patriots Road and I turned around and it was a whole bunch of goats like right there. So I can work on this still and bring it to the March meeting.
That makes sense. Okay.
And that gives you time. I can send you a link that shows what they're supposed to be doing. If you want to read it, it's not that long. It really isn't. It's pretty simple. And in the meantime, you can look at the rest of the stuff.
Okay.
Would it be a horrible idea for us to actually meet these people?
No, you can meet them. I don't know what you're gonna ask them, but.
Oh, no, just to
because
put a
it-
name with the face, so we're not talking about.
Yep.
So when someone says I spoke to so-and-so,
Sure.
I can associate,
Makes sense.
you know, so they talk to
Yeah.
Jane, I know they talk to Jane, no Lori.
I'd be happy to reach that.
No question and answer period, just,
I don't care. You can ask questions and ask for answers. That's
Okay.
fine.
very good.
Right, so we'll continue that into March's meeting. Lori will get more information and so we can meet the candidates. Or are they candidates?
No, they're
They're not
hired.
really the hired people, right?
That's the part that I'm not sure how to work with. Because since they've started doing the shared services, which
Right.
has been going on for quite a while, at least 3 years. Winchton does the hiring. They're employees of the town of Winchton and we rent them, rent their
I was gonna
services,
say, yeah, I know East Monica.
kind of thing.
I was there for a long time.
Yeah. Yeah.
Can I ask a question?
Mhm.
About the barn book? Does Templeton have a separate barn book in Washington? And I,
Supposed to. I haven't seen it yet this year,
all right, because that was supposed to have been submitted,
by January 1st.
so I'm.
No, that's
Oh,
fine.
so-
It's good to know
No.
what's going on. So we don't know. We don't have.
Right.
Barns.
So that's.
Thank you.
But also if you could get the name of the person that came, if your husband knows the name. Just to let us know.
It's much.
Yeah.
faces. I go, yeah, I know.
I know you, but
Well, that's why I'm like, now I know. who you are. So I'm like, okay, your husband's kind of, yes, yeah. Not you, okay. Okay, all right, thank you, Lori, for that, and thank you. Liz. All right, moving on to the private well updates.
so I just wanted to update you, you know that we got the brochure done,
Mhm.
and it's out there for people, and I went to a training last week, and lo and behold, our Cap Solutions now has a grant program both for wells and for septic. We do septic. We're still waiting for the state to maybe make a decision on whether or not that betterment account can be used for wells too,
Mhm.
which I think they will eventually approve. But in the meantime, our Cap Solutions through their southern,
For
Division.
community assistance.
right, thank you.
Yeah.
They do them. So I've gone in and I changed the brochure to include this link. I'll get it on the website tomorrow. I just. And I'll put the application on the website too, because people can go right to it, which this is in your packet. And if they're having well issues, they can get help. So, and
So this would be a little bit different than the one we have with septic, that we wouldn't approve it necessarily, they would approve it.
this is their program
program?
altogether. It is similar to what we do with the betterment agreement for the septic program. But we can't do that right now.
Right, okay,
I want to, but we can't yet.
so it's approved, right?
Correct. So for anybody watching this, this will be on the website starting tomorrow. We'll have paper copies in the office if anybody wants one. They can be mailed in. So either way, electronically through the link that I've provided or by paper.
Great, that's awesome, thank you. All right, we're back to our communicable disease update.
You know, we don't have anything outside of COVID right now, which is a good thing. Wrote myself some notes here. No, not right now. So the last dated state report is through 2/22. There were 57 molecular tests were reported. 10 of those were positive, and 7 of those are still considered positive right now. I'm just gonna reiterate, all the people doing home tests, if they're positive, I guarantee you most of them are not reporting, but they're probably staying home and doing the right thing, I hope. Other than that, we don't have anything else out there right now. I mean, there's a nasty cold going around, there's a norovirus going around, RSV is still out there. We haven't gotten any reports, like I said, of anything other than COVID. I haven't had to go through epi for anything, so.
Yes. knock on wood.
There's a nasty head cold going around.
Yeah, I've heard that from many people. My husband's staff all that since.
Yeah, well, I'll try not to breathe on you guys.
Okay, thank you.
I work with kids, there's not. much
Yeah,
there.
you're not protected at all.
I still wear my mask. All right. Anything else other than our next meeting?
So to clarify, for the March 25th meeting, I will invite the current employees from Winchendon to come to the meeting to be introduced. I will do more research to find out if it should be us or the select board because of the contract. And if it's us, I'll be ready for you that night. If it's the selectmen,
And you'll be ready for them.
I'll be ready for them.
And we're gonna find out about the barn book for these people.
Oh, I already have an inquiry in about the barn book.
Oh, okey dokey. I'm sure you're silly me thinking you were on top of it.
No,
I remember seeing it once, a long time ago.
no, I have copies of
Yeah.
the other barn books. When I
Yeah.
questioned it this time, I got an answer that it's filed with the Department of Agriculture. I don't want to say, she didn't say HIPAA protected. That's not what she said, but it's protected information. And I'm thinking it's not, so I have an inquiry in with the Department of Agriculture.
Okay.
Give it to me electronically. I don't care.
Right.
I don't need the actual copy of the barn book. I need the information that's in it.
Right. Anything else?
Motion to adjourn.
Oh,
Oh,
second
thanks.
that.
All in favor, and it is 7:25. See you in March.
I'll see you first.
You didn't compliment me on the new pens.
I was going to someone steal it,
I'm
but I
sorry,
saw